Zach Kelsch. How are you?
What's up, dude?
Dude, it's been a minute.
Haven't seen you in a while, man.
It's been a long time, and I feel like I haven't talked to you. And man, I did that shirts for the scene back when I launched this podcast, like late 2020, and we had a shirt in the store for the band Ajar. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay. That's probably the last time we talked.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, listen, from the music scene, we appreciate you, man. That was cool.
Yeah, I was not bringing that up for that reason. I was just like, that was literally the last time we spoke.
Yeah, but I thought it was really cool, and it helped us out. And plus, a couple people who liked our band got some cool shirts out of the deal. So it's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, it was actually I just released an episode today with today is what January 5th, 2023. I dropped an episode with Marcus Welliver and Mike Elward. And we brought up the whole shirts for the scene again. I feel like it's like a weird thing to talk about because like I don't like the praise, I don't like the thank yous, but yeah, I did it from a very genuine place and uh definitely not uh something I wanted to do, and that's like what a shitty situation we were all in,
Right.
right? But I'm glad it helped some people out.
Yeah, I think it was cool.
So a lot of bands took part of it. A lot of bands took advantage of it. It was cool. But what a shitty. I feel I was just discussing this with a friend today. It's like it's been 3 years since like the pandemic started, and like it's still like very much of a part of our lives. It's not as bad, obviously, as when it started in 2020. It's we've got the vaccine, and I don't know where you stand with that. I don't care. To each their own. If you want, if pro vaccine, great. Anti-vax, that's fine too. Um, but like I think we're just in a better space. We know more about COVID and its its effect on us. So it's a little easier now. Like life's kind of normal ish. But I mean, as a playing musician, part of several bands, and I mean, your livelihood is performing and teaching and all that kind of stuff. Like that had been pretty interesting
Yeah, it was a weird time. Here's my stance on COVID. I'm glad live music is back.
for sure. Yeah, me too. You and me both, and we're here to talk about a really cool thing. But I'm gonna wait for the lead singer of this project, and it's called Succubus, and it's an Incubus tribute. And I'm so glad you reached out to me because I told you like Incubus is like one of my top five favorite bands. Like, and I'm so upset that I found out about it this late in the game. So I'm glad that we're doing this. I'm glad we're going to talk about it and hopefully get the word out to some more people. But yeah, I'm trying to get a babysitter for that night.
Oh, I was gonna say, tell me you can't make it.
Dude, I'm trying. I don't get to go out a lot, right? And I'm going out tomorrow night. There's a show at the Scranton Cultural Center with James Barrett and Telco and Glass Mask, and I don't get out often. So tomorrow night I'm going out. Wife staying home with the kids. So if I try to go out again next week, and without her to see an Incubus tribute show, like because she's a huge fan of Incubus as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so like I'm like if I try and do that alone without her, like I don't think that'll go well for me.
so maybe if we could get like the babysitter to happen, then both of you guys could come, man.
That's the goal. We're trying to find someone to watch the children. At least like they go to like our daughter. She's almost 6 months old. She goes down at around 7. She typically sleeps until I mean she might wake up around 12:30, which I assume will be home at that point. And my son like he goes to bed around 8 9 o'clock, but he's good for the night. So I just need someone to come over to my house and just like watch TV, hang out at the house, make sure like if the baby does wake by chance that just rock her back to sleep and
Right?
well dude I mean let's talk about we'll get into the Incubus thing when you're the lead singer of the project comes on, but let's talk about you and what's been going on with you. I mean, like I said, you've been in tons of different bands, and I know you teach lessons, and talk about what's been up with you because I'm interested to hear that.
That's cool. Yeah, I have a lot of cool stuff going on. I was kind of, I do a lot of things and then like I'm busy, so I'm just booking it and doing it and learning songs and doing this and that. And sometimes I forget to like sit back and recently I've been doing more of that over the holidays. I was like, Whoa, I did a lot of cool shit like this year, and like this month, even some cool stuff, and it continues with what we're doing at the Jazz Cafe next Friday. Um, so let me start at last year. I was in a band that was like a corporate band. We did high end private events and corporate events and stuff like that. And I was with that band for 5 years, and disagreed on some business stuff. So, I mean, I was always freelancing aside from that, but that was like my main thing, right? I was teaching and playing in the studio and stuff. When that didn't work out, this is the first this year. So as of October of last year, what would that be? 2021.
20, well, this is 2023. So October of 2022 or 2021?
21, because it's been a full year.
Okay.
And
Okay. Gotcha.
yeah,
Got it.
I split with that band in October of 21. So this was my first full year as a complete freelancer. I've been a full-time musician for 15, I think it's over 15 years. Since 2008, I've been a full-time musician, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the first time that I didn't have that one band that was like my main project. This was like, I just take calls, and so I was nervous doing it. I was like, man, should I find like a daytime gig or something like that, and I just kind of went for it, which is crazy given the pandemic that we just had. But yeah, so I did it, and it was like there was like ups and downs, as you can imagine. But I did some really cool stuff. I played a lot with an artist named Christian Porter. He's from Stroudsburg. He's been on the Voice. He'll actually be opening the show on next Friday. I play with Aaron Fink. I think a lot of the people in the area know his name.
Yep.
I've been spending a lot of time with a country singer named Nate Hosey. He's also got some really cool things going on.
Nate's awesome.
Yeah. Do you know him personally?
I do. Yeah. I met Nate back in the Weekender days. He used to do some solo shows at Murray's.
Yeah.
Nate Hosey was the man of the week in the Weekender.
Oh, of course.
Handsome fellow. Handsome. And so talented. Like he's like such an American, right? Like great from the looks of things. I don't know him as a husband and a father, but when you see stuff online and this and that, and he just looks like and this no surprise. Like he's always a stand-up guy when I met him as a person. So to see him as a father and a husband is just really cool. And I'm sure he's wonderful at that because he's good at everything he does. And he's an accomplished hunter and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, that's cool.
He's a cool guy to be around. We just played in Vegas this month. So that was one of the ones that like doing it, I had a gig the night before. We stayed up basically for 3 days straight because it was like I played a gig. I went straight to the airport. I flew out to Vegas. We played a gig, took a nap for 2 hours, and then got on a flight back. So it was like, and I feel like it's always a whirlwind like that with Nate because he's nuts, man. And he doesn't drink or anything. He's just wild. But yeah, if I could get some of his energy, man.
Right.
So yeah, I think between those three, they keep me pretty busy. I'm trying to think. There's a casino band that I play with around the area. I like to call them the Foochery. Some people have a different name for them, but yeah, we play around the area here and there. And then I got a couple other just random projects that fell out my schedule, which is really cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Where does the Foochery, I'll say it, the fuckery. That's with Kenny Norton, right?
Yeah. He's been around the area for a long time.
Yeah. He's a staple in,
we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No set list, no plan. We just go for it, And
that's primarily a cover gig, right?
Yeah.
And what is like the obviously the Incubus tribute? It's called Succubus. We know what that is. What's the theme behind the fuckery or the foochery or whatever you want to call it?
There was no plan around the fuckery whatsoever. So it was like to be honest, I'll tell you the actual story. So Kenny had Thursday nights at Bar Louie in the casino, and that was following Party on the Patio, which, as you know, is a big night. And he called a bunch of guys. Like I think he was playing their acoustic, so he was playing by himself. And then he called up I guess the venue said, "Hey, it's a bigger night for us. There's going to be a bunch of people here. We'd like you to have a full band." So I think they did it 1 or 2 nights before I was asked to do it, and it was literally just a bunch of like some of the guys had never even met each other, but it was just like this guy knew that guy and they showed up. And I hope I'm not getting us in trouble with the casino when I say this, but they had no plan. They just were like, hey, we want a full band. The guys showed up and played a full night, and it was crazy. So they asked him, it went really well. So they asked him to do it every Thursday for the rest of that summer. Now, this was like 2 summers ago. And I came in on the second or third time because whatever drummer they had, like he couldn't do it every Thursday. And I happened to be open every Thursday. So I went and did it. And it was slam packed like every single, so it was kind of like it wasn't even supposed to be a band, but it went so well that we just kept doing it. And we've gotten other gigs. I think we're playing tomorrow night at the V Spot in Scranton, like
Nice.
other venues have reached out and said, hey, could you guys play? And we're like, it's not even a band. It's the wildest thing because I've been doing this for a lot of years, and you rehearse and you have this business plan and you put all this stuff together. And man, Kenny Norton's the guy who just like does whatever, he does whatever he's doing, and then it just kind of works out for him because he's so talented.
Well, yeah, you're all professionals, right? It's probably not hard to probably songs you guys all know, and like it's a good time. It's a little break from that scheduled and that seasoned and that practice those bands that you're a part of. So it's probably a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, it's a little stressful for me, but I'm learning how to get more comfortable with it. Some of the guys here are better at it than me. It's like improv comedy. It's like I'm like a guy who likes to be rehearsed. But some of those guys, man, they just like to go up and and we'll train wreck stuff. You can come watch us and laugh at us if we mess it up. It's wild.
That's fun, man. I mean, the booze will mask that.
It helps at all. That's why I think people like us. It's just they're drunk when they're at the shows.
And hey, you're providing a nice soundtrack. People are there for a good time. They don't want to be. They're not judging you by your performance per se. They're there to hear songs they know, songs they could sing to, and if you fuck it up, they don't care.
Yep. Hence the name.
Yeah, the fuckery. I like it. How do you build that? I mean, do you try and say that? Oh yeah, this is the band, the Futury. Like, yeah.
So I have another funny story about that because I'm kind of like a professional guy. I teach, right? So I teach young kids, and so I wouldn't put that for a long time. I wouldn't put that on my website. I wouldn't put that on, and the guys would make fun of me. They're like, "Oh yeah, Zach, blah blah blah." And then we ended up just on a fluke. We ended up opening for Sully from Godsmack at Breakers in Mohegan, and the newspaper put it. The fuckery opens for Sully from Godsmack. And then I was just like, all right. So then I was like, if they could print that in the newspaper, then
Sure.
I'll put it on my website too then.
Yeah. Well, it's spelled what? Fuchery?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's like a pasty on a nipple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's weird because it seems like everything's acceptable in 2023 and nothing is acceptable all at the same time.
Yeah, what a world, man. What a world. I mean, I always say I love the internet. It's a blessing, but it's also a curse. It's just so many people and so many opinions, and like it has given everyone an opinion and a voice to have an opinion, and like it's just sometimes you should just shut the fuck up. Me included. I'll take that too. Like
that's fair. Aaron Brook, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things that he used to always say. He goes, never miss the opportunity to shut the fuck up.
I like that. Yeah, he was actually on this podcast. He was
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, back I'm trying to think. Yeah, Aaron Brook is currently the bass player and backing vocals, and sometimes he sings some of the songs in a little band called Breaking Benjamin. I don't know if anyone's heard of that band before, but yeah. It's great to see the success that he's been having because I mean no one deserves it more than Aaron. Such a great guy and just humble beginnings for him for sure. I remember him and I used to close down a bar called Liam's in Wilkes-Barre till 2 a.m. on Thursday nights, and he'd take me out to his car afterwards, and he'd share with me some music he was working on for the band Panacea, which was a lot of fun. I'm trying to find the episode that he was.
Panacea is one of my favorite bands from the area.
Yeah, hell yeah. Aaron's episode 57, if anyone wants to go and check that out. But yeah,
Sweet. I'll check it out.
Panacea was one of those bands I thought was like, gonna ride the coattails of Breaking Benjamin and kind of be the next one out of here. But it wasn't
Coulda,
the
woulda,
case.
shoulda. I think like luck has a lot to do with it sometimes,
For
because there's a
sure.
lot of bands that do really great, and for some reason, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's a saying, it's sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And I agree with that very much. Right time, right place, right person, you know.
Yeah. I've always been the guy who doesn't believe in that. Like because I teach a lot, right? So I'm always like teaching my students. I'm always like, yeah, don't rely on luck. Like luck is what do they say? Where preparation meets opportunity.
Thank you. Say that again. Your boy Walter's in here.
Oh, nice.
I want you to repeat that because I've been trying to pull that from my brain for like probably the last 5 episodes because we keep talking about like, the whole like, being prepared when your number is called and all that kind of stuff. But let me get Walter in here
Cool.
before he gets scared and closes out. But yeah, say it again.
Luck is where preparation meets opportunity.
Yes, I like that. I love that
Yeah.
saying. Like, luck where prep luck is where preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that line, and I just couldn't. I could have Googled it, right? But I just. But yeah.
My point is that like I was always a guy, and I still am. I believe that like if you're really great, like the cream rises to the top kind of thing.
Sure.
But I actually recently read a book that was recommended to me. It's called Outliers. Have you ever heard of that book?
I own it. I had not read it yet. I own
Oh
it.
man, Malcolm Gladwell. He talks about how certain, timing and luck does have something to, clearly it does have something to do with success. So,
Sure.
I guess it's both, but
Yeah. Walter, welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
You are on an award-winning podcast called the Popko Project. Welcome.
Awesome. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. I was just talking to Zach about Zach and I have known each other for a very long time. So we were just kind of catching up till you were able to join us. I understand you had open mic night tonight, correct?
Yeah, I literally just got off stage.
Well, I appreciate the hustle. I do.
Absolutely, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
If
So
I go sideways, everyone else is sideways. Is that better?
sure. Yeah, it works. But yeah, I mean, we were just talking about a band called Panacea too, that was a popular band here in northeastern Pennsylvania back in like what was it, the mid to late 2000s? I guess it was like 05, 06, 07.
yeah, around then.
I've heard that name. I've
Yeah.
definitely heard that name. Yeah.
Yeah, all their songs are on Spotify. It's like a whole like there's no like albums broken up. It's just like one like all the way through, which is
Did they
pretty.
release it? Did they release it or somebody like else release it?
They did
before
it.
then?
They did it.
Oh,
They just
okay.
didn't break it up into like, buy albums. But so that's available. Anyone listening to this should definitely go check out Panacea if they have not heard that band. We were saying it's a shame that they didn't go further, and we were just talking about how sometimes that happens. There's a lot of talented people out there that just don't get to that next level for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a million.
Yeah.
A million. Could be a million reasons.
Yeah. So, do you guys want to talk about this show you have coming up?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I was telling Zach, I can't believe this. Like Incubus, top 5 bands of one of my favorite bands.
They're probably top 2 for me.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, they're in my top half.
Yeah,
for sure. Somewhere in a fraction of top bands.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of seeing them 3 times. I saw them in 2015 at the Sands Casino. I saw them.
I was there for that one.
Nice. That was that was a great show. I was like,
that was when they came out with If Not Now When, right? I think it was one of their it was one of their newer albums. It's where the girl's walking on the tightrope, I think.
Yeah, that is the album. Yeah, so that was 2011, I believe. So like that was one of the shows.
Oh my god, that was that long ago.
Yeah, it's crazy how time flies, man. It really is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so then I saw him in 2017 in Camden, which the venue has changed names 1,000 times now. It was the Susquehanna Bank Center at one point. And I saw him in 2019 when they did the 20-year anniversary of Make Yourself.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
I missed that. That was one of the shows. Weren't they touring with? Oh no, they were touring with Sublime with Rome this year. That was this past year.
Yeah. I got to see that. I saw that in Jones Beach this summer.
You told me that.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I'm not afraid to admit this. I was actually during that show. It was at the Met for the 20th anniversary. I definitely cried, and I don't know what it was. It was just like nostalgia. I mean, I was in high school when that album came out. Like, there's a lot of like things came flowing back. I was with my wife, and it was just like an amazing experience, and I just love that.
That's awesome.
Music. Yeah,
there was a lot of that when I saw them this summer. It was just like just the energy of everyone there. It was this really cool because this year they did the anniversary of Morning View, which is my favorite album. That was when I was senior in high school, I think. Junior or senior, I just started driving, and I had that album in my dad's truck that I got to drive around in. And man, awesome. Talk about awesome memories.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal album. I mean, Wish You Were Here is probably one of my favorite songs from the band in general. There's so many good ones. It's like, so how did this, so the name is called Succubus. They're going to be performing live at the Jazz Cafe on Friday the 13th of January. So when this comes out, it's probably come out on a Wednesday. So like 2 days from now. And I mean, how did this come to be? I mean, like you hear a lot of tribute bands, but then always the classic rock tributes or, this is the first time I'm hearing of an Incubus tribute. And I was yelling at Zach earlier because I just found out about this literally yesterday. And so I'm scrambling right now to try and get a babysitter for the night so my wife and I can come to the show and check it out. But how did Incubus come to be a tribute band for you guys?
So it was actually pretty simple. I think we were talking earlier about like I've been a part of some projects recently that have not a lot of thought into them whatsoever. And I've been a guy who's been hired by all kinds of artists for 15 years and everything from really serious stuff to the fuckery, as we were talking about earlier. And it's like the Incubus thing was like, I had this epiphany like you did. I watched them and I was like, man, this is one of my favorite bands, really fun stuff to play on drums. And I was like, I want to do an Incubus tribute. Like for me, I just want to do it for fun. Like, let's just do it. And I think the next following week or even a few days after, Walter and I were rehearsing with Christian Porter, who's opening the show. We play in his band. And we were at a rehearsal. We went out to breakfast, and I think I was talking about it because I was all fired up. And Walter said, hey, man, I've been wanting to do an Incubus tribute for however many years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I've always talked about doing an Incubus tribute. Like as long as I've been doing music, I've been like, it'd be fun to just do an Incubus tribute.
Now fast forward to, let me brag on him for a minute, because I was like, oh, okay, cool. You'll play guitar, but like, who will we get to sing? And he goes, no, I want to sing. And I was like, oh, you're going to sing? Like, so he plays guitar in Christian Porter's band. He sings background. He plays percussion. We just did an 80s tribute where he was playing all the synths. Like he can do anything. It's crazy, the stuff that he does. So I was like, yeah, if you're going to be the singer, and it was cool because I agreed to it. Like, I was like, yeah, man, of course I envisioned it a different way, but like, if you want to sing, awesome. And then we played a festival this summer where Walter's band opened for Christian's band, and they played an Incubus song. You guys did Summer Romance. Yeah. And I was like, God damn it. Like he killed. All right, this is going to be great. Holy shit. So, that's kind of how it came to be.
That's simple, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, I was going to say, and then we'll see where it goes, because it's funny how things work. Like we haven't even played a show yet. This is going to be our first show. and we've got some other offers like in, venues in Jersey and, just different things. So hopefully we did it just for fun, but if people come calling, then of course we're going to do more of it.
Well, I feel like this almost has to happen because as we get older and these musicians get older and their albums get older, eventually those songs will become classic rock. And I think the classic rock genre has been such a well covered genre as far as tribute bands goes, because like our parents and shit like that, like that's what stuff that they would listen to when they go out, right? So I think it's like almost like that shift. It's like it kind of it's a natural thing,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's funny too because Christian, he was in a band called Porter and Sales.
Porter and Sales, yeah.
Yeah, or Porter and Sales. You're right. Sorry.
Porter and Sales. Yeah.
And I when I used to have a radio show, I actually played their music on that show. So I'm very familiar with Christian and
cool. I had no idea. I didn't know you already knew who he was. That's awesome.
Yeah. So again, another reason I'm like, not only is this band going to perform one of my favorite band's music, and then I have an opportunity to see Christian. So I'm like, I need to fucking get out of the house. The problem is, also I told this to Zach, I'm going to I have 2 kids. I don't get out as much as I used to. I'm going out tomorrow night to a show in Scranton. And so without my wife, I'm going solo because she'll be home with the kids. So if I try and go out next week to this show without her, because she's a huge Incubus fan as well.
Oh no,
it's not going to work out well for me. So I need to find a babysitter.
I totally understand. I have one, so I somewhat know where you're coming from.
Yeah, but when you perform, you're making money. So it's like, hey, I gotta go out and do this. Yeah, I gotta go.
For sure.
You can play it off like I used to play off cutting the grass. I actually used to like cutting the grass because like it was just an opportunity to get out of the house, put on some headphones, cut the grass, like a little alone time, right? But you play it off
meditation.
Like, oh, I gotta go cut the grass. This sucks. It's terrible. Like, yeah, I gotta go play. I gotta do the show. I don't want to do it.
Oh man, gotta go to work.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I gotta go perform in front of people and they're gonna love it. And it's just gonna be terrible.
I wish I was home. I really do.
All right, we'll see you. Yeah.
Don't wait up. Yeah. But yeah, so this is awesome. I mean, obviously Incubus is spanned. I mean, it's funny. I was not really familiar with Incubus prior to Make Yourself. Obviously, they had a couple, maybe one album or at least a couple songs before that. What was that album called? I'm drawing a blank here.
Before Make Yourself, they had Science.
Science, yes.
Science before Make Yourself.
Yeah, which was and I went back and checked that out after I was introduced to Incubus. That was a fucking great album too. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about a band who's been around for, I don't know, what year did they start? Mid-90s?
I think it was 96 or 7. I think.
So it's been a long time. Like, how many years is that?
Over 20. So
we're over 20, right?
almost 30 years.
Yeah,
27 years.
So I mean, tons of albums. Like, we had Morning View, A Crow That Left a Murder, Light Grenades. That was definitely like, that was 06. That was like a different kind of sound almost for them, in my opinion.
Every album was completely different from the last. I mean, like if you listen to their first album, which is like Enjoy Incubus or Fungus Among Us, that's all funkadelic rock. Very Red Hot Chili Peppers inspired. And then they came out with Science. You're like, this is like borderline metal experiment. The whole DJ thing was super. Can you guys still hear me? My AirPod just died.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole Science album was like very metal experimental almost. And then, the whole DJs added into the band which was really popular back then too.
Yep.
And then Make Yourself came out, and that was like, I think that was the album that got everybody into Incubus at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the album that made everyone a fan, and then everyone dove in from there. And then when Morning View came out, everyone's heads exploded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember finding them. I actually did discover them when Science came out. I can't, oh shoot, I can't think of the name of the song, but I was young. I was like maybe, I want to say 8 or 9 years old. And I had this motocross video game that I used to play. And their one song was from Science was on that. And I would play it and I'm like, man, that song is awesome. And then that's how I found Incubus.
They're one of the songs from Science played in one of the movies. Final Destination. And maybe it's the same song I'm thinking of, but there was Vitamin, which was a really good song. That I think that came from that was in that movie that I just mentioned. A Certain Shade of Green.
I didn't know that. Oh, A Certain Shade of Green is in Final Destination. I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't know that either.
Vitamin is in the movie.
Is it one of the sequels? Because I think I only saw the first one.
It might have been the second one, yeah. But
I did not know that. I think Pardon Me is in Dude, Where's My Car?
Maybe.
Like, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we're talking about a band who's got such a huge catalog of music. I mean, what can people?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They have one song I think they wrote for a movie. I forget which one it is. It's gonna drive me crazy.
The song I'm thinking about was New Skin.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, New Skin, yeah.
Yeah, great song.
I've covered New Skin. That's a fun song.
Yeah. But I mean, what can people expect from you guys as far as how deep are you guys going to go, or how does this going to look? What can people expect?
So from the list we have now, and obviously things are subject to change because we're just kind of figuring it out. And, it's a fun project. But a lot of it is with the 20-year anniversary of Morning View coming out, I think a lot of it's going to be Morning View inspired, and then there's going to be some hits from the other albums like Science and Make Yourself. It's mostly Morning View and before.
Okay.
So I feel like Incubus fans, especially as being one, are kind of starved for like the Morning View and below. Well, also Crow Left for a Murder is a great album too, so there's some songs from there as well. So Crow Left for the Murder and Down, I feel like Incubus fans are like starved for that. So I think we're hitting heavy on a lot of those albums.
Yeah, I think those are the ones that people are going to relate to the most.
For sure.
I mean, not that I don't like the newer stuff, like even past. I mean, I thought Like Grenades was an awesome album.
Like Grenades is great. Yeah, we have a couple hits from there too.
But it's like, it's weird. It's like that. It's like that. The ones you're gonna play are like those are the songs that people remember.
Right.
And I don't want to say like, if not now, when. Like, I don't want to say that was a very experimental album by any means, but like I feel like it almost felt like Brandon found his voice to a degree. It was very it displayed, I think, his range, I guess you could say. But so we can expect, early Incubus from you guys at the show.
Yeah, more like earlier Incubus, but I think we got like one from one of their newer albums that are.
Yeah, I fought for a newer one just in case anybody wants to hear some of the newer stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of new territory as like an actual tribute band to know what the best choices are. I mean, like as we're talking here, like I love so many songs off the If Not Now Where album. But If Not Now When, but If Not Now When album is also a very produced album. So recreating it on kind of a short notice is a little challenging and requires a lot more just behind the scenes stuff, I think. So the nice part about the older stuff, it's very raw. So and we can get up there and we can just rock out and have fun and honestly just like get into the song. So I think that's a big factor with picking these older songs.
That makes sense. And you have a DJ too.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
like that. When I saw that in the promo video you guys had, I'm like, holy shit! Like I can't fucking miss. I can't miss this fucking show.
Yeah, DJ Dramatic is
That's
a
what I said too. I can't miss the show. There's a DJ there.
DJ Dramatic is from Atlantic City, and he's sort of a legend in like the Philly, Jersey scene. He's like one of those authentic, vinyl. So it's pretty cool. It's like I do some work with him where it's like a drummer DJ project, and I knew that this actually wasn't quite his wheelhouse because he's like old school, legit vinyl guy. But I was like, hey, if it were my pick, I was like, he's going to be the guy because he's an incredible talent. So he will do the part, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that he knew who Incubus was, and he did. So that's pretty rad.
Oh, good.
It's unfortunate when like you have such a love for these musicians, and you talk to other people and like, oh, this band, like who? Oh, how about this band? Like who?
Yeah.
Right.
People often ask me like who I've interviewed, and I like to say like, do you know who the Verve Pipe is? Like no, like shit. Everclear? No, like fuck. Tantric? No, I'm fuck. Like I'm like these are like
yeah. Everclear's a little surprising. I feel like everyone knows who Everclear.
I know. Well, it's that's one of the like, there's like 5 that I've interviewed that like are bigger names that I kind of hang my hat on, or at least not brag about by any means, but at least like their names people recognize, and when they don't, it's like shit. But
I think Incubus is one of those, to be honest. It's like I was talking to somebody about this, and they asked who Incubus was, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But I feel like that's the world we live in. I actually didn't know about their most recent album. They're one of my favorite bands, and I didn't know about it because there's so much noise everywhere, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, but there was nothing on that album that stood out either. Like there's like, we'll never get another Wish You Were Here, or Pardon Me, or we're not going to get that again from them. It's just like it's not going to happen. Like, is it a solid album? Sure, but it's not going to be like that standout. Like radio picks it up and plays the shit out of it, and those outlets are dead. Not dead, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but it is a big part of it. I mean, and I always like with Incubus songs as they progressed. And how music has been going. And I'm a drum guy too, so I'm always like listening to like drum tone when stuff comes out. And if you ever notice, a lot of the snare tones went from really high pitched crack to a very punchy deep. And like when I think Incubus, I think a cracky, snappy snare. And I feel like they've been forced into almost like this newer, like punchier, kind of like dialed back, very crushed drum sound now. And I feel like I think it's effect. This is my personal opinion. Like, so just, as an Incubus fan, I just overthink it. And I think it's like pulled them in a place where they're maybe like they're trying to play like how they used to, but they're just not getting the same tones that they're used to. I don't know.
Maybe
it's a theory of mine.
Maybe they'll surprise us.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll surprise us with a new one. They'll be like, you know what? Let's go back to our roots.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome. It'd be amazing.
I think Brandon's that artsy type that probably likes to explore and try new shit.
For sure.
For sure. I mean, he's had success. I mean, his solo stuff, the Wild Trapeze I really enjoyed that album as a solo project of his. It kind of sounded, I call it tinny. Like it sounded very like it just sounded like it was in a tin can almost. I don't know how to describe it, but I liked it, but it was like the production, I guess maybe it was weird. But his newest one, it was just last year, Echoes and Cocoons, was, I hate to say it, but I did not enjoy that one at all. it sounded like a lot of noise, unfortunately, to me. I hate to say it because I'm a huge fan of his, and even the project he did with Sons of the Sea was a great effort too. Oh, we lost Walter.
We lost your audio, Walter.
Sorry, I started my car. I muted myself because I didn't want it to transfer. Yeah, the Sons of the Sea. I remember when that came out. That was really cool because that was Brandon doing all his vocal stuff, like layering his vocal stuff, which was like super dope. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't heard any other stuff that Brandon's done. That's pretty much the only side thing that I've ever
He's got,
heard from him.
I believe, 2 albums out. 2010 was Wild Trapeze, and then I don't know if there was one in the middle, but then just last year he put some stuff out too. It was like I said, I didn't care for it, but
I think didn't Mike Etzinger also do like an orchestra? Like he did like some kind of orchestra concert. He like composed a whole concert or something.
And yeah, he did. And I'm not familiar with that. I know he did that, but I can't say that I've heard it. But what I did hear, the bass player Ben Howard, is that
Ben Kenny?
Ben Kenny.
Ben Kenny.
Ben Howard, I think, is a basketball player. Ben Kenny. His solo thing was really good.
Man, he's awesome. He used to play with the Roots.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was called. He's got a few out, but Burn the Tapes was one that I remember.
Well, he came in to Incubus like halfway through Morning View.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, what's the old bass player's name? Derek something?
Dirk.
I don't know.
Dirk. Yeah, it's Dirk. Dirk.
Lance, is it?
I think it's Dirk Lance. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
I've always been so curious about how that went down. What happened?
And how did the show happen at the Jazz Cafe? Like, how did that come to be? I mean,
that was
Jazz Cafe is a staple in NEPA. It's like a mecca for music, right? It has been for 25, 30 years. It's more well, I feel like back in the day it was more of a jazzy type of club. And then there was like, I think like early 2000s was very like jam bands and things like that. But I mean, currently in its current state, I think it's a lot of variety. There's a lot of tribute acts that go through there, but they've also given opportunities to local musicians to have shows there. So how did that come to be as a place for you guys to have your first show?
I mean, honestly, because it's one of my favorite venues that still exists in the area. And also, Heather's a friend of mine that I basically just I asked her for a favor pretty much. I was like, hey, we're doing this for fun, and she loves Incubus too. So she was like, yeah, that would be great. And I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we'll do anything because this is not even a band. We're doing it for fun. And she was like, yeah, I don't usually do that, but we'll try it because it's you and because it's Incubus. And I was like, awesome, let's try it,
Amazing.
So, thank you to Heather.
Yeah, big thank you.
We got to figure out how to get this out there more because, like I said, when you told me this yesterday, I had no clue. And I like to think that I'm kind of like in the know maybe not as much as I used to be, like, when my weekender days, but like, this was not on my radar at all.
Well, I'll tell you what, I personally have had a hard time promoting things I'm doing because, and I know you love talking about the crazy current events of all the stuff. So maybe you can vamp on this for a little while. I was banned from Facebook because my laptop got stolen in the Philly airport. And whoever hacked my Facebook account posted some crazy stuff on there. So I've been permanently banned from Facebook.
Or someone stole my laptop in the airport. Okay.
So, well, I mean, that old chestnut,
Yeah. Okay.
No, if you want a funny story for your podcast, I'll say it right out. I logged into my Facebook the one day and they said, you're permanently banned. And I was like, what the hell post about my music or me doing a yoga pose offended somebody, right? And it was like, no, you're banned for child pornography. And I was like, wait, huh?
Whoa.
And I dug into it and it was the Monday after my laptop was stolen on on the weekend on the Philly airport. So anyway, I had, 5,000 followers that's where I would get a lot of my stuff that I do out, but I'm banned. So, and then on Instagram now, I posted recently our Incubus tribute, the promo video, and that was like blocked.
Did you get flagged because of the music?
Well, no, I went into it and I was like, wait, why is there only 20 people liking this? And I went and looked in. It's because I put hashtag science.
Oh.
So they said that they had independent fact checkers check, and I was not.
Oh my God.
That was not authentic science. So they had to ban that.
That's amazing. That's so fucked.
Who's watching that and saying this isn't authentic science?
It's AI, man.
First of
it's
all,
all AI.
Independent fact checkers.
Insane. Oh, this video.
So we're
not science.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Everything's science. Sorry.
Case in point, we're having a hard time letting people know that the show's happening. So that's why we're here talking to you. And I appreciate you, by the way. I didn't say that earlier. Thanks so much for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
Dude, I when you told me, I'm like, I gotta make this happen because huge fan. I'm a huge fan of yours. Huge fan of Incubus, fan of the Jazz Cafe, fan of NEPA. So happy to do it, and I hope this. I'll try and get this out even earlier because I was going to do it like Wednesday and this week. I'll try and get this done and out like Monday or Tuesday, a little ahead of the show. But earlier I talked to Zach, and I know a little bit of Zach's history. But Walter, like, tell me a little bit about yourself and your background.
So I used to starting out. I've always actually been a drummer. First, I played drums in a band called South of the Peak, mostly Pocono, like East Stroudsburg based. And
What's
then
it called?
It was called South of the Peak. So we just did a lot of like local stuff. We played like the Sherman Theater a whole bunch of times, opened for a bunch of bands, stuff like that. And then at one point I started doing more solo stuff. And then I started a band called Tracksuit Panda. And we were playing like shore gigs, a lot of cover stuff, very similar genre, but more reggae oriented. So like a lot of Sublime, a lot of 311. We did a couple Incubus songs here and there just for fun. And then the past couple of years, I started linking up with like Christian Porter and did a lot of my like solo stuff. So I like have a couple originals out, and then I met these guys this past year and a half or whatever, and then we started this Incubus thing.
Awesome.
That's like probably the most condensed, shortest way I can.
That's fine.
Explain it. But yeah,
I'll take that. And Succubus, why? Where did that originate from?
So, I for one, I love coming up with band names. Like it's like. Whenever I start a new project, my favorite thing is just to text the most ridiculous, random stuff to the group chat. And there were a couple of options, and everyone voted on Succubus. I mean,
I forgot you came up with the name actually, because we didn't have a name, and he labeled the group chat Succubus.
Yeah. So we had the chat, and I was just like, I just labeled the group chat Succubus. And funny enough, when I posted it, and I posted it on Facebook, it's been getting some traction. And somebody messaged on there, is like, I expected this to be an all-girl tribute of Incubus. I was like, that actually makes sense.
That'd be good.
So
yeah.
Now we all need a sex change.
You guys have long hair. That's not you got that.
Close enough. I'll shave my beard. I'll wear some eyeliner and some mascara.
But that's good too. Yeah. Succubus being an all-girls trip, that'd be good. Really
I mean, good. I would be there. I would be there to see that shit for sure.
It's funny because I think a lot of tribute bands typically like will grab like a song name and turn it into the name of the band. So obviously Succubus, was that a South Park thing? Is that like just an overall like?
So Succubus Succubus is like a female demon that sucks the soul of man, and then Incubus is the gender opposite. The male version. So
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I knew that. All these years, I don't think I knew. Like, I didn't care to look into it.
There's a little trivia for you.
Yeah, they didn't care. I didn't care.
I threw out A Certain Shade of Green as the name of it, and I got outvoted by Succubus. So
I don't understand how that happened because I was totally down with Certain. Like I didn't vote for the name that I came up with. I was like,
yeah, it was hilarious.
Green.
That was funny to watch,
And
actually.
everyone was like, "Nah, Succubus, Succubus." I was like, "Okay, here we go." And then it was made like the next day. It's like,
I like Succubus over Zach's offering. That's just me. Sorry.
Hey, get in line, brother.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many good like song titles you could have taken.
What would your guess have been?
I don't know. Like, I mean, Nowhere Fast. Just that's like a twofold thing, right? Nowhere Fast. It's a song, and it's a kind of like a Nowhere Slow, and we have Nowhere Slow. Right?
We could have had them play with us.
Yeah.
There's so much meaning. I feel like picking, like there's so much thought behind that could go into picking a song name, like from their originals. Like saying like Nowhere Fast could mean like a bunch of things. Like for one, Nowhere Fast is a B-side track. So like, is this band gonna play all B-side stuff? Like, is there not gonna be any like one hits? Like that's the stuff that I think about. If you pick like somewhere like a name like that, like I was thinking Helicus because Helicus is also 3 syllables and it sounds like Incubus, but it's also a song name. But if we pick Helicus, are people going to be expecting more Fungus Among Us songs? You know what I mean? I wasn't sure. So much thought into like picking a good name, especially for a tribute band.
Yeah, I think you did a good job because like Incubus, Succubus, like I think it, especially for a tribute, you kind of have to have something in the name that like if you pick Nowhere Fast, like we know that we're talking about Incubus, so like you can directly go, oh, it's a B-side. They're probably going to play deep stuff. Like, but if I'm just a person in the world and I see a band called Nowhere Fast, I'm not going to immediately go to Incubus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, for sure.
I think you did all right.
And there are a lot of people that go to see a tribute band that aren't diehard fans. They know just a couple songs.
Yeah.
So like, I've been to a million Bad Fish concerts because I'm a huge Sublime fan, and I've met tons of people that are just like, no, we just wanted to come to a concert and we just kind of like Sublime, you know what I mean? So they knew Bad Fish is a popular song, so they knew that they were a Sublime tribute. Let's just go, kind of thing. Yeah. So I feel like that can play pretty big into any tribute concert.
I came tonight. I was going to ask you for some video footage of, prior shows because I'm like, I have to see what this looks like. But I'm sad that there is none.
Well, there might be. There should be. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there will be after this one.
Well, right, but I'm sad that I'm going to have to make this freaking show, and I don't know how. I'm not in a good place right now for a babysitter lined up at the moment. But I'm going to work on it for sure.
Well, maybe once this podcast gets released, we're promoting for a babysitter for Johnny Popko Friday night.
Let's go.
Yeah.
January 13th.
6 o'clock.
At the River Street. I mean, at his house.
Yes, my house.
Yeah.
I'll leave milk and cookies. We'll see. We'll see.
Does that gig pay at all, or is it just milk and cookies?
Can I get a cut of the door? If I can get a cut of the door,
pure businessman. I love it.
If I can get a cut of the door, this gig pays.
I mean, we'll have to work something out. You're helping us market, so something's gonna have to happen.
I'm hoping my in-laws live close by. They're a little older though, so that's the only issue there. But like I said to you, if I can just get someone to come when the baby's put down and my son's easy, he'll go to bed when you tell him to. It's short notice, but I think I can try and make it happen. But yeah, Friday the 13th too. What a great night.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
So I actually got to cut out, guys. I got to go pack up my my open mic stuff before the venue kills me. They're ready to close.
All right, yeah. We'll wrap up soon, anyways. But yeah, Walter, pleasure talking to you. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you.
All right, you too.
And yeah, fingers crossed you find a babysitter and all goes well. We'll see you on Friday.
Sweet.
I'm just gonna say I'll see you on Friday.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man.
Take care, brother.
See you later, man. I'll talk to you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
All right, dude.
Later.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What can go wrong? You know, it was funny. I don't want to jinx this, but like in 2020, there was two, like, I think there was two Friday the 13th. One actually landed on like Friday the 13th in October. And I think Cinco de Mayo was on a Tuesday. I think this could be all made up, but like there was like that year was like set up for so much greatness. Like days were falling on the right days. Like, you know, Friday the 13th in October. Like how clutch is that, right?
Yeah. What's that 2020 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Cinco de Mayo was on Tuesday. I think. I want to say it was, but not important, I guess.
It's just like set up to be the most badass year ever.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo on Taco Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday the 5th, I think. Yep. And then maybe I lied about the 13th being in October on Friday. Maybe I lied. I may have lied. Whatever.
Are you fact checking yourself?
I am. I'm
Yeah,
looking.
be careful because you get banned off of Facebook.
Dude, that's crazy. That is so
Isn't
crazy.
that wild?
Like, what a world that we live in.
Yeah, it's crazy too because I'm trying to fight it. I actually hired a lawyer because I had 5,000 followers on there. That was like, I have a website and I've got an Instagram, but like as far as promoting things, it's like that's the big one,
Yeah.
You can't call anybody at Facebook. It's all like AI computer technology. So like in order to try to explain to them like, hey, I was hacked, like I can show you that my computer was stolen on Saturday and then you banned me on Sunday.
Right.
And like you can't talk to anybody. They're just like, yeah, no, that was definitely child porn. And I was like, no, I'm not arguing with you that it wasn't child porn. I'm arguing with you that I wasn't the guy who posted it.
Right. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Of all things, too, like it's bad enough that your laptop got stolen, but the person had to go and do that.
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. My life has been a lot more stress-free without Facebook.
Dude, yeah.
A lot more time practicing. I've been, reading a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. They started this new thing. I think it's new. At least it's new to me, where you can limit your time. You can set it for like a certain time of like an allotment of hours per day, or even down to like a half hour. So I did that. It was kind of bad though, because when I started it, it was either the first of the year or the second, and I was off both days. So my time on Facebook seemed to be, a little greater than usual. Because I was going to set it for 90 minutes, which it seems like a lot.
Is that per day?
Yeah, to be on Facebook. So I was like, all right, click 90 minutes, and like, you've already exceeded this time for the day. Like we'll start notifications tomorrow. I'm like, fuck, that's bad. Like 2 hours of my day on Facebook just scrolling like a shithead. Like that's so bad. Like I could be doing so many more things, like working out or something, or like I don't know, paying attention to my kid or something. Jesus,
something.
It's bad.
Yeah,
but it's the world we live in. It's like, this is such a powerful tool we use to, obviously, to promote what we're doing and all that shit. So it sucks.
Yeah, it's a weird one. When it first came out, I'm a musician, business guy. Like I thought, man, this is really cool. It's like free marketing. You get to connect with people and people you meet. Like I meet a lot of people at shows all the time, and there's certain people like what we do, and I always take the time. I meet them. Hey, how's it going? And then they have cool stories. They're from here and there and doing different things. And the fact that you could add them and stay connected in like some type of way, I thought that was really cool. And then it got very weird very quick, or maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
No, it definitely did. Like when it came out, it was like kind of just for that. Like, yeah, I can keep in touch with my friends or family from far away. Like I can keep up to date with what they're doing. but it's become such a business now, and it's the advertising, and everything is, you can be like, kind of almost deplatformed to a degree, and it just it's crazy. It's crazy, and this political aspect, fucking forget it. Like,
Yeah.
it's everyone's screaming at each other on the internet. It sucks.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
always
that's
saying everyone's saying shit they would never say to the other person's face.
for sure.
It's terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible. And then there's guys
Have
and girls DMs, and like that's a weird thing I'm sure for women. Like, I don't know.
have you noticed though, like on the silver lining positive side, I feel like people in person are cooler recently. Like I feel as though like people, I don't know. I've noticed that people appreciate live music, it seems like more since the pandemic for sure.
Okay.
But also like I feel like a lot of people I talk to are just like they're just kind of like tired of nonsense, and they're like they seem like they're genuinely nicer.
That's good.
Like yeah, when I meet people in bars, like if I'm playing or whatever it is, they seem like it's more. It seems like there's more of like, hey, you're that was great. I liked your show or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's more like complimentary rather than, yeah, screw that guy, blah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like seeing a different portion of people or
yeah, you're out more than I am for sure. So you get to experience more people and how they're interacting with those situations. I hope so. I mean,
maybe like the craziest people are just sitting in their house in their basement, like cursing people out on Twitter, and they don't go out as much anymore.
maybe that's quite possible. They forgot that you can go outside now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy world, man.
It's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird.
Have you started a new Facebook page since all that?
So I can't. They have my number.
Oh, they have like your IP or
like my phone number. So when you go to start a new Facebook, it asks you for your phone number, and they send you a code to like authorize that it's you or whatever. And they said, "Oh, this phone number." I'm like, "Man, this is crazy." That's where I was like, I called this lawyer I hired. I was just going to ask them to write a letter to see if like, because it's kind of crazy. Definitely. I don't feel any difference in my business. Like I'm still just as busy, but this is that rare moment where this is a project that I came on. I'm not saying it's my project, but it was my brainchild. I was like, I want to do this, and then it's hard to get the word out. So a lot of like, just grassroots, the band is sharing it, and people that are coming are sharing and posting and tagging, and that's about it,
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to do the old school. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to go put some flyers in the Gallery of Sound and, and we're going to go old school on it and see if we can get some people to come out and rock with us.
Is there like an event page on Facebook that's one of the guys made by chance, or?
Yeah, it's on Walter's page because, like I said, the goes well and we have more. We're having a videographer there. We'll shoot video and, maybe do more of them. But like I said, I mean, this is literally just for fun, It's cool. And we're really excited about it.
Cool. I am too. I'm glad you reached out. It's awesome. It is a personal thing for Zach. What does 2023 look like for you? What are your goals, ambitions, and kind of what's scheduled already?
Man, I have a lot going on. We didn't talk about the studio here. I've been doing a lot of stuff here. Man, I have a lot of stuff happening. Walter and I, along with Christian, I'm not sure if we're supposed to say anything about this, but we're writing a bunch of music, and we don't know what we're gonna do with that. I don't know if that's gonna end up being like Christian's release, or if that's gonna be like a different band. I don't know what we're gonna call that yet. So we're working on that stuff. I've got gigs booked with Nate Hosey. I've got gigs with Christian and Walter, like all throughout the year. So there's a lot of stuff happening. It's just check my Instagram. You can check my my website. That's good for now. It's just my name, zachkelsch.com.
Cool.
And yeah, doing a lot of stuff, just hustling.
That's
excited.
Awesome. Yeah. You've always kept busy. I know that for sure.
I just love music, so it's like cool, and I love, you know, it's like I feel fortunate that I get to work with like these amazing, talented people. You know, oh, one of the new things, I forget half of this stuff. One of the new things I do is I play solo acoustic now, like because it's another thing that I just wanted to try, and it's like outside of my comfort zone, and I've been playing around the area, some solo stuff, and that's been fun too. So
very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. Well, best of luck this year, man.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's my pleasure. I'm glad I could be part of it to help out and get some, hopefully get some eyes and ears on what you guys are doing. So again, it's January 13th. When this comes out, it'll be this Friday, January 13th, River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains. Check out Zach on his website, and it's Zach with an H, ZHACH.
Yes, thank you so much.
Right. Yeah, ZHACH.
KELSCH.
Perfect. But,
and then tickets for the Jazz Cafe are just on their website. So that's riverstreetjazzcafe.com.
Perfect, man. Well, I'm excited. I hope that I can get the night off.
Best of luck with that.
Yeah, man.
We'll put all our energy into you being there. I'll see you next Friday. Looking forward to
man.
it.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. All right, man.
Take care.
Take care.
See ya.